Umbrelly Books Publishing presents The Secret Life of Shadows, written by Johnny DePalma, illustrated by Bao Luu, and read by Christina Ricci.
Bethany Gale was not a particularly happy child. Well, not like she used to be. There were very few things that held her interest or brought her joy these days. But given her recent circumstances, one could hardly blame her for that. She did, however, take a liking to the name of her new street, Middle Miss Lane. She liked the way it sounded, like the beginning of a nursery rhyme or a poem she couldn't quite remember. And there were nights she would whisper it under her breath as she laid in her bed to sleep. Middle Miss Lane, Middle Miss Lane. Time for bed now, child, her father would grumble. And Bethany would roll to her side and watch the branches play out in the wind, bowing back and forth to neighboring trees. And every night, when she knew she was completely alone, she would whisper in her softest voice, "I love you. Good night," before closing her eyes tightly and drifting off to sleep. This particular night, however, was different. Scratch, 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 scratch. Bethany rubbed her half-asleep eyes and tiptoed down the stairs. "Oh, Sadie," she whispered, not quite realizing that her dog was still fast asleep on the living room rug. "Come on, girl. Outside." Bethany yawned as she opened the back door, and a sudden whoosh of air ran past her leg and into the night. By the time her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she could just make out the shadow of her dog darting into the woods beyond the gate. "Sadie," she said in a hushed cry, "come back here." But there was no response. Bethany grabbed her grandmother's flashlight and ran to the edge of the yard. In the distance, she could hear the playful rustling of leaves on the forest floor. At least she's happy, Bethany thought as she opened the back gate. And with that, Bethany's feet left the cold midnight grass of Middle Miss Lane and stepped out into the woods before her. "Sadie! Sadie, come here, girl." "Time for bed, my little starlight." "Coming, Mama." There we are. All comfy cozy now? Mm-hmm. Well then, let's begin. This is called The Secret Life of Shadows. And I wrote it just for you. There's a place that I know where the southern oaks grow, where the lazy moss twirls in the trees, where the air's syrup sweet, all from yesterday's heat, and it clings to your bones in the breeze. It's a place far away you might visit someday, where the stars like to play hide and seek, and the shadows of town every night gather round, while the whispering winds seem to speak. And I swear that it's true, what I'm saying to you, though I see that odd look on your face. But you must believe me, for I've been there, you see, and it's quite a spectacular place. Though perhaps you should know, as you get up and go, why these shadows have all gathered round. Well, I'm sure you would too if you were stuck on like glue to each person and creature in town. Just imagine their life, all that chaos and strife, being puppeted round to and fro. What if they want to play at the end of the day? Where on earth do you think they would go? Well, near Middle Miss Lane, now please let me explain, there's a small, lonesome place in the wood where each night they all flee for the chance to be free. And I would join them right now if I could. For in starlight they play, shouting hip hip hoorays as they scatter round backlands galore. It's a world without care, where they let down their hair. But I promise you still, there is more. There's a party of sorts, where the talls and the shorts hoist you high on their tenebrous hands. And they won't let you down until you have been crowned the new queen of the Shadow Time bands. There is music and dance. If you're brave, take a chance. Soon you'll hear all the oohs and the ahs. Now keep up with that beat and stay light on your feet till their dancing turns into applause. For the music they've stirred is like nothing you've heard. It's a feeling I dare not compare. It's the drums when they quake or the tambourines shake. It's the brass when it rattles the air. It's the trombone man's swing and the clarinet's ring, and it bubbles up straight from the ground, while their rhythm and beat cast a spell on your feet to the fat, joyful noise of this sound. Plus, they like to play tricks upon old tunnel bricks, stretching out into marvelous things. And it's here you shall feast till your waistline's increased on a cake that is fit for the kings. There are stories as well that the shadowlings tell. You're a queen, take a seat on your throne. Or perhaps you might find, if you are so inclined, a quick glimpse of the greater unknown. And if there is still time, well, it might be divine to join in on their raucous parade. Now sit tall and be proud, give a wave to the crowd, and just look at the smiles you've made. For there's nothing, you see, like the chance to be free, to live on without worries or care, as the magic you'll find is a one of a kind, but it's one that I hope you will share. And with that, my sweet girl, what I leave to this world is just you and this magic you found. And though we are apart, I still know in my heart that you'll take it and spread it around. But that's not for today, and so get on your way. And remember, I'll always be there, in a place that I know where the southern oaks grow. It's a place that one day we will share. Now close your sweet eyes and imagine the skies. Bid adieu to your new happy friends. Just remember these words and you'll fly like the birds. Our goodbyes are not really our ends. And I hope that you know when the gentle winds blow, as you lay in your bed sleeping tight, that they'll whisper, my dear, what you're longing to hear. And I love you, my darling. Good night. Bethany awoke the next morning feeling different. She didn't quite feel as alone anymore. The sun came in, and she watched the shadow from her fingertips playing against the wall. She pressed her hand against it and smiled. "Breakfast!" her father called. And with that, she left her new room on Middle Mist Lane for the very first time, content. Bethany Gale was not a particularly happy child, but she was today, and one could hardly blame her for that.